Hi, Budget Builds here with,
Sin.
and we're coming across our cathedral with our paint job we're working on. We, you seem to have started out this build by doing up some of the details that you added on later on after the priming. I guess
Yes.
did you get your base coat going?
Yes.
I um I really enjoyed how this build ended up coming out. It had a very smoky stone kind of look to it at the end of it.
It's probably one of my favorite pieces, even though at first I didn't know what to think. I used a gold metallic marker right there. You can't really see the metal showing up at first. And I was going to trace around the windows with it. I decided against it. There was so much black it made it look a little green, too green for me, and a little too different from the ornaments.
It wasn't quite the right yellow you were looking for.
No, it needed to be darker. But I like later I just paint over. I like that better.
It probably actually ended up bringing out some lightness towards the edges of the windows as you came over it later, so that have a kind of natural lighting effect of what was coming through the windows.
Yeah, I was just experimenting at first, and you can always. That's the cool thing about painting is you can start over with terrain. Figures, not so much, not that many times because the layers of paint will remove detail. But with terrain, you just can. If you mess up, don't be afraid to mess up because you can always go back and redo it.
Yeah, and that's what the nice thing is, and that's where you go. Okay, I want to cover that back up now. I want to smooth it all out in this area. And you start painting all the accented materials black. I liked how that went.
On this part, I did wash, made it real thin to make it look older. Well, actually, no, I actually did prime that with a latex paint because I wanted it to hold against metal.
Yes, it was
And then I
latex
dry
paint.
brushed it later with gold. And
Yeah,
here's dry brushing with white. Or is it light? I think I mixed white with
a little bit of
a
gray
gray.
probably. That's what it seemed to have come out as. It was really nice seeing as you came through with your white dry brush how some of the brush strokes or spray patterns from the priming kind of came out. It was really nice the patterns that you went with.
Yeah, I enjoyed painting this piece. It was a lot of fun. It was just dry brushing. It was that mixture of I want to say the gray and white.
And this is just 2 layers of paint, right? Like primer, right? You spray down primer, and then a light come across with a dry brush of white. It's simple and effective. It gives a lot of depth.
Yeah, and
Depth.
it doesn't take very long.
No, you're consistent about your direction of your brush strokes.
Yeah.
It makes the whole structure look even. When you were dealing with all those glue strings, did you remove them or did you try to paint them?
No, I just painted over them because it gives that old ruinous look.
Okay, and it looks kind of neat how it's coming out. I really like it. The bronze pieces are probably my favorite additions to this. The little ornaments that you put on, I think that gave it that final cathedral look, something nice and ornamental.
Yeah, I really like the embellishments on something like this. I would like to have more pieces of it.
Yeah, more pieces done in this style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be nice to have. Make like a cityscape, kind of like a full cityscape. Multi-level, multi-tiered, something that's like was or is heavily inhabited. It's always fun to make.
Yeah, you could do different paint schemes for like, I mean, for instance, some of the Eldar worlds that got destroyed. I think it would look really nice in that setting with a different paint scheme.
Yeah, some of the old craft worlds and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it was I mean, it's just your imagination, right? Like even if you're not good at making terrain, doesn't mean it's bad terrain, right? It means it's something that your characters can now interact with on the table. A lot of modern systems they use miniatures, right? You can play some systems like Vampire, right, without miniatures. But even when we played any of these systems, we always end up using miniatures for the combat at least because it's convenient. It gives you context of what you're doing. No matter what you build, we would use dominoes and stack them together, or things from our son's play set, like trees or bridges.
You can't really see anything but my hand right there.
Yeah, but I could see the nice progress that was coming along. The shot after this starts showing some more of the rest of the structure coming in.
Good.
I didn't want to miss this section of the painting because this is where the white was starting to really come into shape, and I wanted to show that.
It looks really nice. Like I said, I really enjoyed doing this piece. I think the most time I took was doing the pipe and the wiring
Yeah, it was very
and
deep.
embellishments.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to have those things. You don't have that as a painter to use to make bring your object to life. You need to add those in, make it more. This was my first one built. So I saw what she wanted for what she painted, and then next on my next builds, I adapted, and so that when she came along to paint, she didn't have to add extra paint to unprimed pieces and stuff. It just makes the whole situation more fluid. But you adapt, you find another way, and you figure it out.
Yeah, and you can't really mess up with terrain.
No, you can always make it into something. Even if you break the whole thing down into like a little block that you set on the field, it's something. No time is wasted. You might gain skills in doing this that you might understand. Just maybe basic maintenance stuff. You might start getting an idea for how to handle tools that you didn't use before. Or just start working with your hands and find that you have an interest in doing things that are more physical. It's always a great opportunity, no matter how whatever you do turns out, right? Like we may not always win in any game we play, but it's the playing of the game that matters.
And you want to get up underneath your pieces too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make sure that everything is covered, right?
Yeah. I was trying to offset these squares to make it look more like stone, but it's just better to line up if you're going to do a grid type pattern. It still ended up pretty good.
I liked how it ended up. You get an idea of what an inch is just by looking at it. Each one is an inch. Um, so you just did a pretty flat gray, and how it dried was pretty light too. I think you came over back later, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I used a pencil to outline everything.
Yeah, and you cut out a little inch square and then just trace through, right?
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it came out
So you can
nice.
tell it didn't line up like I wanted it to. It kind of bugged me the whole time, but the finished product looks better.
I think so. Sometimes you get tired of seeing straight lines on a board all the time, so it was kind of nice to see something offset. We like to use our little grid mats, and it makes combat really quick. It makes things really smooth, but aesthetically, it's nice to have something that looks more natural that you're using.
Yeah, with the tabletop role playing, we haven't really got to miniatures yet. But with that, if someone has to go back and redo a move, you want to make sure that you remember where they are, and grids are great for that.
Yeah, they really are. It's just an experience, and if you want to keep experiencing these things with us, you can always check out our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you want to participate in what we're doing here, just follow our hashtag down below and donate what you feel like you want to donate. Thank you, and have a blessed day.